Hello there to all my Versus Series viewers, and welcome to a Versus Series preview video for the next big matchup coming to the channel, Kestis vs Kanan Jarrus. Just a little bit of history on this matchup to start. I had been wanting to use Kestis in a Versus video since the release of Jedi Fallen Order almost 5 years ago. Originally, I was going to have pitted him up against Zane Carrick from the Old Republic comics, and later the Jedi Padawan Bel Zettifar from the High Republic era, which is somewhat ironic considering who one of Cal's main adversaries in Jedi Survivor comes from. While neither of those matchups ever truly made it past the drawing board, when the first trailer for Jedi Survivor had dropped, I decided I was going to wait until the game's release and use Kestis from that game after it had come out. It was then that I realized that neither Carrick or Zettifar would be much of an opponent now, and that was when I turned to the ongoing debate within the fanbase of who would win between Kestis and Kanan Jarrus, given their similar backstories, and the idea was finalized. Now, just as an add-on for you guys to know about, after Evanova95 dropped his Darth Malak vs. Count Dooku preview on his channel, which I'm totally copying for this video, he mentioned how that video would have 3 alternate verdicts to the matchup, and I was quite intrigued and motivated by the idea. So for this Versus video, we will have 5 different alternate verdicts. The main one will be Cal as of Survivor vs. Kanan as of Rebel Season 4, which is the main focus of the video. However, I will also be giving a verdict on Cal as of Fallen Order and Battle Scars vs. Kanan pre-blinding. Then, I will be looking at the circumstantial matchups, giving Cal his Dark Side amp in 1, and giving Kanan his Oneness amp. And lastly, the ultimate clash. Ladies and gentlemen, for the 5th verdict, we will be doing Battle of the Younglings. It's going to be quite a stacked video. It's going to be quite hectic. So it's going to be a little bit, but for now, hopefully this can satisfy your desire. And without further ado, let us begin. Kestis was also a human male, and therefore possessed the same biological makeup as Kanan Jarrus. A battle-hardened knight of endless conquests and conflicts, Kestis was 23 years of age during the events of Jedi Survivor, planting him firmly at the start of his physical prime. Standing at around 5 feet and 10 inches, Kestis had a small yet dexterous build, his overall levels of health remaining very strong, with the young man holding no true physical handicaps or cybernetic replacements, the only thing being 2 scars that ran across his face. In terms of physical strength, Cal, while possessing a more nimble and spry build, did maintain a strong level of physical might, able to climb through the scrapyard of Braca and in combat, employing physical combat against stormtroopers in the midst of combat, and contending with the force-enhanced strength of other more powerful force wielders, even if he couldn't match them outright. One of the more impressive strength feats Cal has managed outside of combat was his escape from the Sith Lord Darth Vader on Nur, where he managed to swim several feet towards the ocean planet's surface while dragging the unconscious seer Junda before passing out. To make matters even more impressive is the fact that Cal had only moments prior been stabbed by his own lightsaber against the Sith Lord. Speaking of Darth Vader stabbing children, while Cal was easily overpowered by Vader during their brief duel on Nur, only managing a single blade lock with the Dark Lord after being brought to his knees, Cal has successfully managed to contend with the physical strength of fighters well above his own level, including the 9th Sister Inquisitor, a hulking Dawatin who was later enhanced by cybernetics, the armored Jedi warrior Ravis, who, while not Force-sensitive, is stated to have slain multiple Jedi in the past, and the towering muscle tank Bode Akuna, his former ally turned traitor, though he did struggle to hold blade locks against the fifth brother and Dagangera, even before the latter returned to full power. In the realm of speed, Cal was quite nimble and dexterous in his build, employing jumps, flips, and dashes into his overall combative sequences, and managing to cut through armies of stormtroopers and bedlam raiders with little difficulty. When empowered by his rage as the power of the dark side crept into his very soul, Cal could move as a blur, cutting down dozens of stormtroopers and officers in a few moments, with most of the troopers unable to get a single shot off towards him. Something I would also like to point out is how impressive the young Jedi's reaction time was. Able to react to and defend against surprise attacks, and in his duels with Rayvis, Dagangera, and Bode Akuna, managing to contend with their highly unorthodox, multi-weapon fighting styles with relative ease. While something of a lightweight in regards to his overall level of output, the same could not be said for Cal's level of durability and stamina. As a child, he took a grazing blaster shot to the cheek, and was able to react nearly instantly, and as a young adult, Cal has survived massive falls, blunt force trauma, blaster shots, and even a stab from a lightsaber, the latter of which he still managed to recover from and still keep standing moments afterwards. His overall levels of stamina were also quite noteworthy, shown by his ability to continue fighting through hordes of enemy without fatigue and keeping up in high-intensity lightsaber battles with little difficulty, though Cal has been shown beginning to tire and falter under extreme and overwhelming pressure, as shown in his duel with the fifth brother Inquisitor. Backing up the Jedi survivor in these two departments was his trusty comrade, BD-1, who provided Cal with several stim canisters held within his chassis. These stim canisters served as a healing boost for Cal, helping to quickly heal small-level injuries in the midst of battle, while also replenishing his physical stamina, keeping him in the fight for much longer. Overall, the best way I could describe Cal Kestis' overall physical build was to refer to him as Obi-Wan Kenobi on steroids, or death sticks in this case, or stim canisters. Like Kenobi, Cal is a sponge of damage who just keeps getting up under injury until he's forced down outright, while in his other attributes, he proves just enough to maintain his ground against stronger adversaries. He may not be the strongest player in the field, he may not be the fastest, but he is strong enough to be able to contend, fast enough to keep up. Add to the fact that Cal is constantly having his stamina boosted by BD-1, keeps him in the fight much longer than he would have without.